trade provides a framework through which other parties or stakeholders can sit around the table and be able to coordinate the cooperation. LDCs can be able to sit across the table and say, these are our challenges. And development partners among themselves can be able to say, given our different skill sets, this is what we can do, this is what we bring to the table.
Now, in terms of the least developed country challenges, when we talk about trade, it is all about supply side capacity, it is also about infrastructure, and it's about the market access. We have to look at all the three issues together. You can only do trade if you have the products that you can really export and compete in the international market. It is not just a matter of producing it, but producing at a level which can really compete with the standards, with the numbers, and with the time, and with the cost as well, at the global level.
We need to diversify export goods by increasing exports on non-textile.
Lesotho is landlocked entirely by South Africa, so transport costs from Maseru to the port of Port Elizabeth, which is 800 kilometers away, are higher than the cost of shipping that container from Port Elizabeth to the US.
We still have quite a number of challenges as a country, and some of the challenges include very high cost of doing business in Uganda in as far as outsourcing is concerned. The other challenge that we have is that the investment climate is not yet conducive enough to attract foreign investments.
Tourism is a political priority because it serves as a driver of employment and thus can play a vital part of poverty alleviation. The sudden changes of banking policy make our business run very harder. Some of these challenges I described are tackled by the ITC.
I think thanks to the Aid for Trade, we are able to mobilize funds, namely the EIF.
Aid for Trade has helped. 3 years ago, it took 72 days to get a trading license. Through the intervention of the EIF, we've cut that number to 5 days. And by the end of this year, we'll be down to 2 days.
I would like to request now the two ambassadors to launch the new EIF logo.
Welcome everyone to the launch of the second phase of the EIF. The EIF's new phase will be operational by January 2016. It incorporates some key reforms measures to ensure that the new phase is even more results-driven and that it represents a real value for the money.
The EIF, that is to say the Aid for Trade, a specific vehicle for least developed countries, is an indispensable tool for you to translate trade opportunities into realities.
For development to happen without trade, it's not going to happen, and we need to step up our efforts. And we are ready to pledge 150 million Norwegian kroner for 2016 to 2020, which is about $20 million.
In the coming years, the EIF will be instrumental in realizing the vision of the post-2015 development agenda. Within the broader scope of the Sustainable Development Goals, trade, SME, productive capacity, women's economic empowerment, youth entrepreneurship and value addition need to be fully integrated in this new development compact.
When we talk about Aid for Trade, I think the purpose was definitely look at the growth and development and poverty eradication, the impact of trade on these things. If you look at the least developed countries, we still have about 50% of the people living below poverty in these countries.
Because quite a number of LDCs are trying to get into the outsourcing sector by virtue of the value, the export value, which is about between $500 to $1 trillion a year. What sort of potential are we talking about? Number one, job creation. We should be able to create 200,000 jobs, direct jobs in the industry.
Aujourd'hui, l'Afrique est très bien vue dans l'investissement des services. Vous avez beaucoup d'entreprises dans les télécommunications. C'est pas pour rien que les derniers chiffres montrent que le Kenya est pratiquement le premier pays au monde sur les finances mobiles.
If we have more investment, it also talks about bringing about change in terms of the enabling environment in these countries, the investment regimes, entrepreneurship development, access to finance, and all of that if we can really take it in an integrated manner, that is what is being aimed at by the Aid for Trade, I do hope that more focus on these countries will really result in larger impact in terms of poverty alleviation and development.